I don't think that people should support your small business just because it's local. And I'm not one for hot takes or anything like that, but this might be probably the most controversial thing that I've said on this channel. There's this Facebook post going around of some boutique who is having to close her in-person store because just wasn't getting the support from the community or wasn't getting enough business from the community to be able to keep the lights on and pay all the bills. And with us opening this bookstore 2 days from whenever I'm recording this video, it's top of mind for me, like the role of small business and brick and mortar retail stores in a community. And this is relevant, I think, for any kind of business. But the whole post got me thinking about small business and local business and how we should be approaching our responsibility to the community and vice versa. And here's how I think about it. If somebody's sitting at home, they can go on Amazon and they can go from their phone and buy something, whether or not they're dressed, and get that delivered to their house after a couple of clicks with their finger within 1 to 2 days, maybe even the same day, depending on where they live. So if the alternative is to get dressed, drive across town, walk into our store, hope that maybe what they're looking for is going to be available, and there's a lot of friction there that we have to overcome, and we have to do something to make it worth it for the customer. It can't be a one-sided thing where we say, well, the biggest value that we bring to the community is that we're local. Well, then why wouldn't somebody just shop on Amazon? Now, all that said, if I sell something that you could buy at Walmart and maybe it's not available online for whatever reason, so your two options are either drive to Walmart and buy the thing or drive to my store and buy the thing for about the same price, then I would hope that like friends and family and stuff in the local community would support the local business. So I do agree, like local business is the backbone of the community and of the country, and if local small businesses fail, then there's really no hope for the local economies. But this notion that people should be morally obliged or whatever to shop local, even if the prices are worse and it's less convenient and maybe sometimes the service isn't even that good, I just don't agree with that. I think we have to earn the business. So with every business, you have to differentiate like what makes you different from someone else. Why should someone get off their couch and get dressed and drive across town to come shop at your store if you are a brick and mortar location? Some of the things that we're doing with the bookstore, we're going to have a website that's constantly updated so you can always see what we have in stock in the store. We're going to have local pickup. We're going to have shipping available for people. And we're really working hard to focus on all the little details. This is Jessica's superpower. She can focus on the very, very small details that make an experience really something special. So sure, you can go on Amazon and you can go through and you can click buy or whatever, and it gets delivered to your house. But we're creating this atmosphere here that whenever you walk into the bookstore, it's like you get to step away from your day-to-day and just have this really small town bookstore feel where you get to just look at the books, pick what you want, and then go home with the book. In addition to that, because it's a retail store, we're kind of treating this as an opportunity to curate a set of books that people might like. And so the idea here is like, no, we're not going to have all the selection that Barnes & Noble has or that Amazon has, but we're going to be carrying things that we think people like. And so if you're an avid reader and you want to come into the bookstore and just see what's available, you can trust that the things that we're carrying have been carefully curated. You should have seen the amount of work that Jessica went through picking books to go into the bookstore for the opening order. When I'm talking about hours, it was days of her sitting and going through every single book. She did not just blindly say, let me just get this set of 100 different titles. She literally picked every single title that's going onto the shelves of this bookstore. And that kind of like care and attention is going into every aspect of everything here, whether it's the paint color, whether it's the flow of like how you're going to walk through the store and what you're going to see first and how it's going to go and how people are going to greet you when you walk in. All those things have been very, very thought out. So for us, if someone's coming into this bookstore, it's because they're looking for an experience. If they were just looking for a book, they would just be sitting at home. The whole thing kind of got me thinking too, though, about North CPA and what I do with my CPA practice. Like, what am I doing to differentiate things from other people? Like, why should people give me their business instead of any other CPA or just doing it themselves? And to an extent, I have that built in because we are working like specifically with authors. And so that's something that differentiates us from 99% of the other CPAs out there. We understand the author world and we understand the nuances that go along with that. But I really think there needs to be more than that, because if there wasn't, then anybody else can come in and say, oh yeah, we work with authors too. And then there's just two of us. And the differentiating factor for a business can't be the person. Like I can't be the differentiating factor because then I'm the one stuck doing everything and I can never delegate and I can never grow my team. And one of the things we really like to do is make sure that we're doing things asynchronously. So we don't do very many one-on-one phone calls. We don't have a phone number that people can just pick up and call, but instead we make ourselves available through like email messages, portal messages. We do recorded videos for clients. We do things very asynchronously. And for the clients that like working with us, that's a huge value. They don't have to schedule a meeting. They don't have to take a lunch break. They can get their stuff taken care of in the evenings. We can get it taken care of during the day. We never have to coordinate schedules. What I have a problem with is communicating that. I don't know how to say that succinctly. And so that's something that I need to work on and make sure that we're attracting the people for whom we're solving the biggest problem. So authors who like to work asynchronously on their own schedule are typically the people that we like to work with and who like working with us. Something else that I thought about from that post, the person who posted it was talking about how she would do all these things for customers at the last minute. So if they came in for an order that day, she would get it taken care of and she would get it done. She'd go like above and beyond. And then she mentioned how lately someone said, "Oh, I'm so sad you're closing. You used to be like my last minute shop idea or my last minute gift idea." And the person who was posting said, "Oh, that made me sad because it meant I wasn't their first choice. I was their last choice. I was the plan B." But here's the thing. If people really liked the fact that they could come into the last minute and get things done at the same day without having to worry about scheduling anything, and she accommodated that, then that was the value that she was bringing to her community. And if she didn't like having to do that kind of thing, then she could have stopped doing it. But if the response to that is, well, if I stop doing it, then no one's going to come, no one's going to shop at my business, then that means there's no other value being given. So like in my example with my CPA practice, if I don't want people texting my personal cell phone to ask business questions or ask tax questions, if I respond to those text messages like the same day or immediately, then I'm not setting up those boundaries. And if I do set up boundaries and lose clients, then it means that the only reason those clients were working with me is because I was making myself more accessible than I should be. So it's kind of a twofold approach. You have to, on one hand, set boundaries. Otherwise, you're going to burn out because people are going to look for the easiest path. And if you give them an easy path that takes too much away from you, you're going to constantly be giving more than you actually can give. But if you do set up those boundaries, then you need to make sure that you are actually providing some sort of value on the other side of things so that people don't have any other reason to go anywhere else. So while I'm probably one of the biggest champions of small business and local business, I don't like this idea that people should support small business just because it's local. Small business, local business, any business is not a charity. Everything has to be an exchange of value. We're going to give you this value and you're going to give us money, and that has value. And if I can't provide more value than the alternatives, then there's no reason for you to use me over the alternatives. Whenever I go to our local gift shop or whenever I use our local car repair guy, it's because I trust them. It's because I trust that the stuff that they've stocked in their store has been curated and it's nice, and I don't have to worry that I'm getting like a knockoff or something. And if I'm going to the repair shop, then I know that they're going to take care of me. I know they're not going to sell me something that I don't need. So I think maybe deep down, it is the trust that people come for, but that trust is built from giving value over and above what you need to give, not in a way that's unsustainable, not in a way that bypasses your personal boundaries, but just in a way that shows why it is important to support small business and local business. So I'm curious, what are your thoughts on this? Am I way off base? Do you think that that people should support small business and local business just because it is local, regardless of if it isn't better or cheaper or whatever than the alternative? Or am I resonating with you, and does this make sense? I'm curious to hear. We are, just a quick update, we are speedily getting everything up for the bookstore. Jessica's in the other room right now, literally placing books on shelves for the opening this weekend. Speaking of small business, we're doing a collaboration with a local coffee shop. They made a coffee flavor specifically for us. And so then we're giving each other discounts and stuff for people who shop at either store to kind of reciprocate that, which is really cool. And I honestly can't wait to show you all of this. But hopefully this resonated. Hopefully I didn't offend anybody on here. Otherwise, I will see you next time.